It's been 10 years since 10-year-old Lyric Cook and 8-year-old Elizabeth Collins were last seen alive. They were biking here to Meyers Lake Park and were last seen on Gilbert Drive. Their bodies were found about 5 months later at Seven Bridges Wildlife Park. That's about 24 miles from here. Seven Bridges isn't a place you happen upon. It sits at a dead end of a gravel road. There were no street signs leading me to it. Deer stood in the road as I came upon the park. One small sign acknowledged the park as a public hunting area. Meyers Lake has the inescapable din of traffic noise. At Seven Bridges, one's company is the bugs which swarmed my camera. It's a miserable, humid, muddy place to be in the summer.
I can't imagine how scared they were when they were taken there. I don't like to go there alone.
Of course, yeah.
It's out there. Like if you were yelling, no one would hear.
You know, we believe that the suspect was at least familiar with Evansdale area, Meyers Lake, and likely familiar with Seven Bridges too. Seven Bridges it's not an area where you just stumble upon it.
Since 2012, tips have been investigated and suspects have been cleared, but the case has gone cold.
And in the last 10 months, we've had 117 tips come into our tip line. I'll call it a tip line, but it's an email address. Now I got to throw out the caveat that sometimes you might get 5 different people reporting the same information, but those tips are always brought in. They're coming in regularly, and then they're evaluated by our investigative team. So approaching 10 years in, we're approaching, if not surpassing, 2,000 leads from day one until 2022.
Investigators are unable to release details like cause of death in order to identify false confessions.
Any case that has been unresolved for a long period of time is, and I can't give you the why people want to do it or why they do it, but they will say, yes, I had responsibility for it. And that's why I go back to why we can't comment. As much as I would love to open up the playbook and open up the book and invite everybody in, you know, the desire of law enforcement in maintain the case facts is not because we love the power and control that comes with we're the only ones that know. It's so that if somebody calls up and said, hey, I did this, I can know whether or not this person is telling the truth or not. Because if they say something that runs opposite on what we know is true with our case facts, we can go, no.
Are they sure that it's one person?
No. I don't know if you know the statistics for a single person kidnapping and murdering two people is super rare. They can't even do statistics on it because it's so rare. Because it's only happened since they've been keeping track in '68. I think it's only happened 17 times.
Angels Park was built in memory of Lyric, Elizabeth, and 2 other young female murder victims.
I got another person out there. We planted a tree for his daughter. He's from Indiana. His daughter went missing in 1982. They never found anything. And he told me, he goes, Drew, we don't even have a cemetery because there's no body. We have nothing. We have nowhere to go to visit. So he told me that. We planted a tree for him. So it's really a place of healing for people, and it's where we can kind of all come together.
Collins has used the abduction and murder of his daughter and niece to start a foundation aiding families with missing children.
We just want to do what we can to help other cases too, like other cold cases. We're hoping to have monies to, like when they want to, say if they don't have the funding to run tests on something, we want to be able to donate that money to help solve some of these cases.
Those with information are encouraged to call the Evansdale Police Tip Line at 232-6682 or Cedar Valley Crime Stoppers at 855-300-8477. No tip is too small.
To whoever's out there that does know something, time is on our side, technology is on our side, and the day's going to come where they're going to come knocking. I just can't wait for that day, but it's coming, so be ready.